Hello, San Diego, and welcome to the San Diego Edit. I am Adrienne Holmes, your host, where we are covering all things important in San Diego. And today I'm so excited to introduce you to one of my most cherished friends who is as beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside.
Come on.
Who has been in the fitness and nutrition space for more than 2 decades, who is a trusted partner of KUSI News and at the forefront of all of their nutrition and fitness needs. And without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Cindy Whitmarsh. C-Dub, welcome to the show.
Well, quite an intro. Thank you so much. This is so fun.
I know. I'm so glad that you decided to do this with me.
Of course.
So I'm so excited. So we'll have listeners that are from the full gamut of super fit to older and not very fit. So hopefully when we kind of go through some of the questions, you can kind of give us a perspective from, different walks of life, if you will.
When are you going to get a super fit person? When's that happening?
I don't know. We have one here. It's you.
Come on.
Oh, okay. So let's get started. So let's say that we've got someone of relatively good fitness that eats pretty well and they fall off the wagon. How do they get back on track? What would you recommend?
Well, the first thing is you need to change your mindset. So I've been doing this for 30 some years, and the number one thing people would say is talk about all of the negative things. Like, oh my gosh, I used to do this. How did I get here? Just talking about all of the negative stuff. And I would always say, okay, it's good to learn the patterns from the past. Yes, good to learn the patterns. But now this is a new day. And I used to just get in their face and just go, today is going to be the best day of the rest of your life. This is going to be day, everything is going to change. And you just got to move forward and be positive and stop being negative. Negative is not going to get you anywhere.
No, that's so true. And I think really just one step at a time, right? Rather than beat yourself up over what you haven't done,
right?
Kind of celebrate each little success.
Right. If you ate something bad the night before, a pizza or a bottle of wine, shocker.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
guilty.
The next day, okay, it's time to move on. Don't beat yourself up because that's the worst thing that you can do.
Right. Now, in terms of like consistency and intensity, how does that play into like a really good regimen for long term?
Consistency beats intensity the entire time. So you could do, say, 20 to 30 minutes every single day. And that's so much better than doing a 1 hour twice a week. So if you're doing something intensely for an hour twice a week, and you're doing something consistently 20 to even 30 minutes a day,
right,
that will beat the 2 times all day long because you're building muscle every day. You're burning intensity every day. Your heart rate goes up every day. So your body is going, oh my gosh, okay, it's another day that I'm becoming more fit and more fit. And it's instead of just doing the 2 times a week, doing the 30 to 20 minutes every day is the best thing to do.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
And because we're more of like an instant gratification society, how do people really stay focused when they're not seeing immediate results? I mean, you know us, we're like, okay, I need to be thin right now. And they don't really think it takes 6 months to a year or however long. So what advice would you give to some of our listeners?
Well, I think the number one thing is to track what the mirror or the scale can't show. You want to track the things that are besides, what the scale is showing. So you want to track your energy levels, your sleep, digestion, are you going to the bathroom every day, which is so important. And also your mood. Is your mood better? And those are probably things that you don't think about if you don't write them down. So that's a huge key. And then the other thing I'd love to do is visualize. Visualization is such a good thing to have. Like for me, putting little sticky notes in the morning with my goals on it. And so I can see it every morning, like, oh yeah, that's my goal. That's what I'm working on today. Or like a pair of pants that you want to fit into. Or if I'm going on a vacation, put a picture of the vacation, but always have something visually that you can look at that reminds you of your goals every day.
I think that's so important. And what are some of the common mistakes other than being negative? Is it maybe being too aggressive in, what they're hoping to achieve quickly?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is obviously going too hard too soon. So we've all done it. And there was a time that I think it was from the holidays or something, and I didn't work out for like a month. And then a friend challenged me to this gnarly boot camp workout and wanted me to do like crazy stuff. So we were like running up and down the stairs and burpees and all this stuff. And I didn't train for a month. Oh my gosh, Adrienne, I could not walk the next day. I felt like my entire body was bruised. And So then I didn't work out for another 2 weeks after that. So that's the worst thing you can do. Plus you could be injured. So you don't want to do that. You just kind of ease into it, making sure that you're making a plan for something moving forward.
I think that's like the workout you used to put me through when I came to you originally.
I know. We did.
Do you remember that?
Boot camp workouts. Crazy. But
it was so funny. A few of my friends were like, how did you meet Cindy? And I was like, I think it was back in like 2007 or 8. And I had a boyfriend that was so into wining and dining.
Yes, yeah.
And I had too many dinners out, too many glasses and bottles of wine. And I'd put on like 15 pounds. And I found you because I was doing so much research. And I was like, who is going to help me get this fat off my body? And I came across Cindy Whitmarsh and I called you and you're like, I'm sorry, I'm not taking any new clients. And I was like, no, wait. You have to take me. And you're like, all right, I will.
You were so persistent.
I was like, you have to take me. I see what you look like. I know what kind of programs you run. And it was like a game changer for me. And I remember like showing up at your house and doing burpees and push-ups on the asphalt and running up and down the hill.
Yeah.
Right.
It was all pushing yourself out of your limit, but you were the perfect client because you came in and you were like, I'll do anything you say. And you did. Like we changed your diet.
Everything.
And the workouts were very specific and you changed your body. You lost the 15 pounds and you've never gone back. Isn't it crazy? If you do something like that, if you change your nutrition, you see maximum results from that.
Right.
You're never going to go back to that.
Never. And I think one of the things that is so like just indelible in my mind is that you said, if you do nothing else, drink more water. Drink more water, 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 water. And you know what? That has been such a game changer for me because not only does it really obviously keep your body hydrated, but you're not as hungry. You have more energy. And so it's a game changer.
It flushes out toxins throughout your body. It helps your skin and you're looking better.
Exactly.
Everything in your body. It's a huge deal. I always say a gallon of water a day and people are like, oh, I can't do that. And a lot of people say to me, oh, I drink a lot of water. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Try a gallon. And then you tell me that you drink a lot of water because a gallon of water, if you see it throughout your day, it's the best thing.
So you think a gallon?
I say a gallon between 90 ounces and 120 ounces. So a gallon is that. But if you can get to 90 ounces, that's great. But that's great. But for older people, especially, it's important to drink water. And I know it's very hard for older people to drink water, but dehydration is the number one cause for being sick and not feeling good in older people.
Is that us now that we're 50 plus?
Oh gosh. Yes, it probably is.
So in terms of working out, what's the blend with cardio and strength training? And I know that as ladies and we kind of get into those hormonal ages, I know that my trainer tells me that weight training is so important for bone density and everything. So how do we balance that?
So the number one thing, and I'm so excited about this, muscle is now sexy.
Yeah.
You'll see celebrities now who we all are looking up to now, like Jessica Biel and Angela Bassett. Like, just think she's just the coolest human, and her body is like something that
rock.
And we all attain to do now instead of being that stick model that used to be everybody's goal.
Twiggy.
So I love that now. And then for every workout, muscle conditioning, lifting weights should be the base of every workout.
Okay.
And then according to what your body type is, that's how you manage the balance between the cardio and your weight training. So there are 3 different body types. There's an ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph.
Okay.
So this is kind of how you figure it out. So an ectomorph is like a model. They have long levers. It's kind of you, but you're a balance between ectomorph and mesomorph.
Okay.
Mesomorph is a body type that gains muscle quickly. Mm-hmm. So an ectomorph, the long levers, they want to lift heavier weight throughout the day and less cardio. Okay. Where the mesomorph body type is more, you do body weight exercises, higher reps, and then you do the same amount of cardio. So it's more of a balance of cardio.
Okay.
And then the endomorph is the pear shape. So pear shape body type, you want to broaden your shoulders, lift heavy upper body and less lower body, higher reps left, and then do a balance of cardio as well. Okay. So that's kind of how you figure out the balance. It's just a good starting.
I see. It seems to me almost the older I get, the more mileage I get out of weight training. It just seems like that. I don't know why. I mean, cardio is great. It is for like mental acuity for me, or that runner's high.
And for your heart healthy and all of that. But muscle conditioning is the number one thing. It changes your body the fastest. Somebody walking on the treadmill, like I've seen so many people in the gym throughout the years, not changing, walking on the treadmill every day. I see them every day. I'm like, why is their body not changing? Because they are not lifting weights and they're not changing up their cardio either. So It's a matter of weightlifting, everyone, especially as you get older. I tell my parents all the time, like, Dad, just get some bands, like do anything that's, even lift light weights, because as you get older, your bones are frail and you've got to lift weights.
Definitely. Okay, so let's switch gears to nutrition. And I had already shared one of the biggest things that I'd learned from you was drinking more water. One of the other things I learned from you, and this was a big part, is that 85-90% of your health is what you stick in your mouth.
Yes.
And I didn't really know that. Obviously I had gained 15 pounds, so I wasn't paying too close attention. But it is so true that when you are very cognizant of what you eat, it makes such a huge difference.
For sure.
So I can see where when you've got both at play, what you're eating and how much you're moving your body, how that becomes the game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say 80% of how your body looks and feel is your diet.
Okay.
And if you don't have your diet on track, you're never going to see the results.
Okay.
I was a perfect example of that in college. My college degree was nutrition and fitness. And at the time I was personal training, getting up at 5 a.m. and training clients and doing 2 to 3 workouts a day, whether I'm teaching or going to these classes. And then of course I wasn't eating right because I was tired. So I was eating a lot of sugar and then just being a dumb college girl and drinking beer with the boys on the weekend and doing the normal crap that we do.
Of course.
But then I moved to San Diego and I got slapped in the face with the mecca of health and fitness.
Right.
And I'll never forget this day. I was at Frogs, I was a trainer at Frogs, and these 2 ladies went up to the front desk and they were like, okay, we want to get a female trainer. And then the one lady said, well, I don't want that fat girl trainer. And I knew she was talking about me.
No.
And it was so sad.
How could you ever be fat?
Well, I had 30 more pounds on me. I had cellulite in the back of my legs. I would not show the back of my legs. I would wear a sweatshirt around my butt, which is so embarrassing. Anyway, that day was the first day that I'm like, holy crap, I have to practice what I preach. I need to go back to my nutrition roots. And I did what I call the red zone, which is like the strict diet.
Okay.
So it's like your beginning thing, which I put you on when you first came to me.
Yep.
So it's drinking a gallon of water. It's cutting out sugar, cutting out alcohol.
Yep.
And it's for a period of time, whether you do a week. For me, it was 2 months. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this for 2 months. I can do anything in this amount of time. And I changed my entire body. I lost the 30 pounds and I'll never go back to that.
Right. No.
So now for what I am, I'm in what I call the blue zone. So I'm in now my metabolism has shifted. It's more metabolically active. So I can have what I want in the right portions for my body.
Right.
And then get right back on track the next day. So it's kind of a good balance.
Right. You know what? That totally makes sense because it seems like when you really stick, like we were talking about consistency and you're doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing, you can have a cheat day and it doesn't affect you as much, maybe more mentally than it does like on the scale or in your genes.
100%.
So it totally makes sense. So what nutrition rule do you live by?
Well, I really like if nature didn't make it, don't take it. Like,
okay.
So I also feel like if you can grow it, if you can feed it or fish it. So basically eating clean, healthy foods from the earth. If you did that straight away and just ate clean like that, your body would change. Everybody's body would change. Doesn't matter who you are.
Because your body just doesn't know what to do with a lot of that processed junk.
Processed food. And that's like us Americans consuming all the crap we're consuming and the hormones that we're eating. And it's important to eat clean, eat healthy.
I mean, it totally makes sense. So walk us through a balanced day of eating for you. Like if you're going to wake up, what would you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
So a balanced day of eating for me would be, so my breakfast, first of all, a gallon of water a day for sure.
Okay.
But my breakfast would be, I have this green tea mix that I do. Green tea in the morning with a little bit of sea salt, lemon juice, and a tablespoon of collagen powder. So that's my mix that I love every morning. And then for breakfast, I would do like one of my favorites is Greek yogurt, berries, chia seeds, so good for fiber. And then I really love turkey sausage because it's warm and whatever. So that's my breakfast.
And
What's yours?
Smells good.
What do you have?
Usually 2 or 3 egg whites with a little bit of cheese. I don't know, is cheese decent for you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because I'm like a mouse. I love cheese.
Yeah. In moderation.
In moderation. Yeah, everything in moderation, right? But you know what I've been trying, and I guess we'll get into this a little bit later, is some intermittent fasting. Because I feel like that's, anytime I kind of feel like I've fallen off the wagon, that seems like the quickest way to kind of get myself like revved back up a bit.
Yeah. I think intermittent fasting works for people that works for their personality.
Okay.
And if you can do it, like I always say when it comes to the trendy diets, I always say that if this is a diet that you can do for the rest of your life And if the good outweighs the bad, then that might work for you, but it has to fit with your personality and your lifestyle.
Totally makes sense, because otherwise it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Right? So tell me, is there some healthy foods out there that are really not that good for you that people obsess over? Because I would love to know about that.
Yeah. So granola is the first thing. People always think granola is just so healthy for them. It's super, super dense in calories and fat and some saturated fat. So people think, okay, I'm going to put this in my yogurt. I'm going to put this in whatever. And the serving size is a third of a cup. No one puts a third of the cup.
Oh, no.
Oh, they're like dumping more than a half a cup. So it's a hidden dense calorie that you're just not aware of.
Dale is going to be so sad to hear that. He is obsessed with granola.
But everyone's different.
Okay.
Males are different than females when it comes to metabolism. And, so you have to know your body. Granola might work for somebody, but for people who don't know and it's not their body, I wouldn't. The other thing is smoothies, like store-bought smoothies.
Yeah.
People used to think, I'm just going to go to Jamba Juice and get this great healthy 50 grams of sugar. Like
in a Jamba Juice?
Yeah, like crazy. Wait, is Jamba Juice still around anymore?
I think so.
Oh.
I think they call it Jamba.
Okay, well, don't come after me, Jamba. But you really have to ask questions when you go into a smoothie place. How are you making this? What is in it? Is there corn syrup in it? What's happening?
Oh, okay. So a lot of that hidden junk is what gets us.
Yes.
Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit to the more fit crowd. Assuming someone is relatively fit and they stick to a pretty good eating program and they're pretty consistent with working out, what do you recommend to really switch it up and break the plateau? How do we get that last 5 to 10 pounds off?
Well, I think for people who are relatively fit or super fit, usually I ask them 3 questions. Are you overtraining? Number 1. I look at their program. Are you working out so hard every day and you're not taking a break? Sometimes people are overtraining. So look at that. Maybe you need to take a day off, go get a massage.
Okay.
Sometimes that will trigger a change. Also, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping enough? Because sleep means everything.
Right.
And then are you managing stress? So stress is the big thing. Stress causes so many issues with diet, with your health, with everything. And if you are stressed, it produces cortisol in your body.
Okay.
And so that is increasing your belly fat. It's so bad. It breaks down muscle tissue and it will lower your immune system too. So those are 3 things you should ask yourself. And then from there, when it comes to weight training, you want to just change your sets, change your reps. Instead of pushing on the concentric move, you can work on the eccentric. So let's say like you're pushing up a bar, and that's the concentric. And so what you want to do is go negative. So go down for a count of 3.
Okay.
And that's a negative training. So that sparks a little change into your muscle.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of like physical therapy. Sometimes when you're actually making the movement back is when you're actually doing the exercise that you're benefiting from.
100%. And you'll be sore the next day because you're doing something different. And that spikes a change.
Okay, well,
And
that
then
makes sense.
When it comes to cardio, you just got to think outside of the box. Like, what are you doing for cardio? If you're walking on the treadmill every single day, get outside, go for a hike, do something different, take a spin class, take an exercise class, but you just have to spice it up somehow. Just do something different.
It's almost like our skin. I know that anyone that I go to for a facial tells you can't use the same thing on your mug every day. You've got to kind of switch it up and do something different. It sounds to me like fitness is similar.
Totally agree. Always changing it up.
Changing it up always serves you well. What about like fitness trackers?
Okay.
Tell me about this.
I love fitness trackers.
Okay.
There's 2 that I worship. Like one is called MyFitnessPal. So you are writing down your nutrition, you're logging your fitness. And what's cool about it is that when you log in your fitness, like, so you did 300 calories or you burned blah, blah, blah. And then it shows you automatically, it flicks and you can eat more throughout the day. So I'd be so excited. Like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to
earn the opportunity to eat more.
It gets you excited to work out more because you can eat more throughout the day. So
Okay.
that's super fun. But you also log in your water. That's important. You log in your water, what you're doing for your workouts and all of that. But okay, my new favorite one is the Aura Ring. Do you have an Aura Ring?
No.
So
do I need one?
Yeah, you do. You have to get it.
An Aura Ring?
Yeah. So it is the coolest thing. You wear it on obviously your finger, but it logs your sleep and your recovery and your readiness. So these are things that you need to know about yourself. I'm so excited. Every morning I get up and I say, okay, how did I sleep last night?
No way.
And it tells you like exactly, I slept 7 hours and 30 minutes and this much of the deep sleep, this much light, this much REM. It's so cool. And it gets you excited. And then if I didn't sleep good, then the next night I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to have sleepy time tea. I'm going to have a good amount of sleep. Sleep is so important.
I can see that as I get older. It's like I value that so much more just because you hit the ground running in the morning when you feel like you've slept well.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just kind of dragging. Mm-hmm. So where do we get this? What is it called again?
It's an Aura ring.
Aura ring.
Yeah. So it's OURA.
Okay, I'm going to have to get
online.
one.
I don't know.
Is it like... it must do something technologically then. Is it like hooked up to your phone? How does it do all that?
Yes. And so you hook it up to your phone. And so you get on your phone every morning and it tells you what you have. And the readiness part of it is cool too. Like sometimes if I'm not feeling well and the readiness thing will say, oh, you're at 70%. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'm feeling bad. So take your vitamins, drink more water, get some sleep, manage your stress.
Oh my God, that's fabulous. I'm going to get one of those for my dad too.
Yes.
Right? It's even better for those that are older because they don't recover near as quickly.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap it up, what is the best workout? And I know that's kind of a loaded question because like you were saying, there's different body types. But what is the best workout in your opinion in a short amount of time? Where do people get the bang for their buck?
High intensity interval training.
Okay.
A HIIT workout. That's how, when you and I used to train.
Yes.
That's what we did.
Okay.
High intensity interval with muscle conditioning intervals, like flipping back and forth. The best part about this is the afterburn effect. So because you're increasing your heart rate for that high interval and you're doing that throughout the workout, your heart rate stays up for a longer period of time.
Okay.
So just sitting after that, your body's like still going, I'm still like burning calories versus just like walking at an even state. Your heart rate is not going to be up like it was when you're doing the high intensity.
Okay, so it's not just the benefit during the exercise, but it's the after that's...
The afterburn, Adrian.
The afterburn. I like the sound of that, C-Dub. Now, what about a pre-workout snack or meal? Now, do you recommend that people have a snack before they work out or they eat before? What's the rules on that?
Yes, for the majority of people, within an hour before the workout, you should.
Okay.
And you have to do a complex carbohydrate and a protein. You don't want to do something with fat in it because it's a slower digestive tract.
Okay.
So I love like oatmeal, a small little bit of oatmeal with chia seeds. Chia seeds are such great fiber, so good. And then protein powder. So I like protein powder, but for a lot of people, they don't. You could have a couple of egg whites. Egg whites on the side. I also like just even something simple like an apple or 2 hard-boiled egg whites or a Greek yogurt and berries.
Okay.
What do you like to have?
You know, I always go back to like cheese. I'm just kind of a weird freak. Like sometimes I'll have eggs or I really go for protein, like a piece of chicken. Even in the morning, sometimes I will. Because I just feel like if I don't have time to worry about it, then at least I know I'm going to be fuller longer.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because you're satiated because of the protein. It helps to balance out your blood sugar.
Right. Instead of like feeling like I'm taking off and then I'm dropping.
Right. I wouldn't do cheese because cheese is fats.
Yeah.
It's a slower digestive.
I love cheese.
I know. You can have it after your workout.
Okay. Okay, that's a fair deal. Now, what's one fitness or nutrition myth that you think is something that's ludicrous? Like, I'm going to start. Do you remember the fat-free craze?
Yes.
Oh my God, you can have bagels. You can have licorice. Yes. It's fat-free.
You can have candy.
Do you remember all of that?
Yeah.
And I totally fell prey to that. I was like, oh my God, all of the stuff I get to enjoy, all of it is like a carb bomb.
Yeah.
So
right.
What's one you can pick up?
My biggest thing, my pet peeve is when people say, and I hear it all the time, I still hear it, as they say, I'm going to cut out all carbs for the week. Okay. No, you're not. First of all, simple sugars, yes, you can cut out, and I don't care about simple sugars. That's processed food, that's candy, that's that stuff. You should cut that out. What that does to your body is it increases the blood glucose when you eat candy, a donut, whatever. And then your body has to produce extra insulin to go in and bring that blood sugar down.
Okay.
So that homeostasis that you have to try and get to is what causes your body to store fat. So processed foods, yes, but you need complex carbohydrates in your diet. You need to have that for energy, for muscle retention. It's really important to have that fibrous vegetables, yams, brown rice. Those type of carbohydrates are very important in the right portion.
Okay. And they're satiating too.
Yes.
Right?
For sure. Yes.
So as we wrap it up, for anybody that's feeling overwhelmed, like I was explaining earlier that some of our listeners are older, probably like my dad's age, and they, now that he walks a lot more and he's definitely more active, but there's a lot of people that listen that may not be as active, and taking in all this information might be a little overwhelming. So what advice can we give to them if they want to start to get on the right track, fitness-wise and nutrition-wise? What are some successful tips that you can share with them to help them get off on the right track?
Well, I think in the beginning, if you have enough money to just get a personal trainer or a nutritionist for just 1 or 2 times.
Okay.
I think that's a key. It gets you started on the right track. So it's somebody like telling you who knows what to do, kind of gets you started in the right track. But also I feel like calling a positive friend, like calling up somebody who is like a positive influence in your life, asking them to go for a walk, go outside, get some vitamin D, be in the sun, something that gives you like positive, and just talk about fun things, but then talk to them about your goals. Like, what are your goals? What are my goals? How can we do this? Could we do this together?
Keep each other accountable.
Keep each other accountable is a really, really big deal, and make sure it's a positive person that you look up to in your life.
It's so interesting because my dad and I are always talking. I talk a lot about my dad, but we always talk about how it's so refreshing to be around people that have a positive default. Like no matter what hits the fan, someone can find the silver lining.
Yeah.
Whether that's in business, in life, even fitness or anything like that. So I can see the benefit genuinely in finding a positive friend. And I think also voicing your goals so that they're kind of out there.
Yes.
So you have to really be
you're
accountable.
not doing it alone. Accountability is the biggest thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then as we recap everything, so we're saying that consistency wins over intensity every time.
Yep.
80% of our overall health and fitness really has a lot to do with what we put in our mouth.
100%. Yes.
If we want a quick, surefire workout, it's going to be super intense. Intensity.
Workout, high intensity interval training.
With weights.
Yep.
Right? So then we're kind of not only getting the big burn during, but also after.
Yep.
And then really just balanced real world foods. Not a bunch of processed junk.
Can you grow it?
Okay.
Can you feed it? Or fish it?
Or fish it. I don't know that I'm going to be fishing anything.
Give me that salmon or halibut.
Now, if someone eats out a lot, what would you... I remember when I first met you, you would literally not go to a restaurant unless you brought your own salad dressing.
Oh my God.
Right?
I still do that. My
You
husband
still
thinks
do?
I'm a whack job. Yeah. No, one of the biggest excuses that I still hear to this day is I can't eat healthy because I eat out or I'm traveling.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I do it all the time. I'm traveling all the time watching the girls play.
Right.
So you have to prioritize protein. So you always want to pick chicken, fish. Those are the lightest proteins.
Okay.
And then you want to make sure that you ask for sauces and dressings on the side. Like I said, I bring my own dressing,
Right.
but like a light vinaigrette or something like that. But ask for the sauce on the side. So any sauce that they put on whatever it is. And don't be afraid to ask questions too. How is that made?
I see.
Those
Okay.
kinds of things too. And then my one thing that I really like to do is I don't do a double carbohydrate. So if I'm going to have a glass of wine, I won't have bread or I won't have a pasta or something like that.
Okay.
So don't do a double carb.
Okay.
And then fill up on fiber. So have a salad. This is a great thing. Have a salad before your meal.
Okay.
And then split your meal with somebody or cut your meal in half and take the other half home. The portions that you get in restaurants are pretty gnarly. They're pretty big.
That's so true. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So the double carb, that's actually a great idea because you always feel like bloated or you don't feel good. If
Just
you're
pick
eating
one.
bread, pick one.
Pick one. Yeah. And then the last thing, what was that on the last thing? Oh my gosh. How did I forget this? Maybe I wanted to forget this. Drinking, alcohol.
Yeah.
So alcohol and just drinking in general. So you don't want to have sodas. You don't want to have anything that has calories in it as far as like what you're drinking.
Okay.
So juice is obviously out, but if you're going to have an alcoholic beverage, just do it smart. Have a soda with vodka in it.
I see.
So vodka soda.
Less
or
sugary mixer.
Always opt for that versus
Okay.
having something with more sugar in it. Or just don't have it at all and just be a really good girl.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm a little bit partial to the wine. I think it keeps me nice.
Yeah,
But
I know.
yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to come and share some of these tips with us. I always love seeing you.
You too.
And I know our listeners will appreciate all of these fun tips.
And you know who I would call for a positive person? It would be you, Adrian, because you're one of the most amazing human beings on this planet.
C-Dub, I don't know about that.
Everyone
but
listen to that. Call her if you need somebody positive.
I don't know. Well, see, there's clearly a reason why I picked C-Dub for my very first podcast.
Because I love you.
And I love you too. So that's it for us, San Diego. Until next time, thanks for listening.